For once in your life, you're not an outcast.
Yeah, you're not a social weirdo. You can actually walk around. You're surrounded by people that love the hobby as much as you do.
Yeah.
That's great.
And it's infectious as well.
It is. It really is. Realisation, like you said, really, that when you find something that you want to paint and that you're interested in, all those kind of barriers you put up just fall down. Like, no, I just want to paint them. If I come back with any money, I've made a mistake.
I've failed.
Yeah, and I didn't come back with any money.
Oh, that doesn't look very good. It's like, yeah, but what were you going for?
Mm.
Oh, I don't really know. It's like, well,
that's you. That's you.
You don't know then.
That's you with the Stormcast and the Grey Knights.
Yeah,
they're just absolutely great. I think shows. I do, like you said at the beginning. Really, if you haven't been to one, really try and make the effort to go to one. But if that can't motivate you to get painting, nothing will.
That's it. Yeah, we've failed. Sorry.
Just get a new hobby.
Yeah.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of the Sprue Goons Podcast with me, Dickie, and I couldn't think of a funny one this week with the alliteration thing, so just Darren. Right, Darren?
Yeah, I'm alright. Yeah.
I'm
it's probably more apt really. Just Darren.
Just Darren. Nothing special. No. So how you been, alright?
Yeah. I think we've got quite a lot to...
I say got quite a lot to bore them with this week, so sorry about that. I'll let you go first, because I can't actually... think, what have you done? Well, you had the audacity to get ill.
Yeah, so my sort of last 2 weeks has been split. So the first week, I feel like I really kind of got the ball rolling with my needs. Got the first 10 base coated, and then really made a start on kind of doing the final touches and doing the. Like I did a test model as well, which is I'm really happy with it, and I think that's probably I've never really painted a big army before, so to have a test model that's sort of like a blueprint for I've done Seraphim before.
No, I was thinking Legion.
Oh yeah, of course,
Legion. I mean, it's not a massive army.
Yeah, but I think with Tyranids, it's like it's one of the armies where you pick the scheme and everything adheres to that scheme. You know, in my mind, it would look better if everything is in that scheme. So it's kind of like it's really important to get a scheme you're happy with and get that scheme down early. So to have a test model, it's only a Termagant, but I can see what my army's going to look like, and it's not a really complicated scheme, but I can also see how I can sort of like embellish it for
balls deep,
more important models.
More balls deeper. Go more balls deep.
So I'm happy about that.
That's looking really good. But then
then I got ill.
Got ill. Absolutely disgusting. Couldn't believe it. Let me down.
And it was last weekend, which was so normally the way it works is I have like one weekend which is kind of editing the podcast, making sure that's all ready to go out every 2 weeks, and then the other weekend is kind of like, right, this is fully painting, get a big project on the go. So I'd kind of had big plans, and then I did some Saturday morning, went and got my hair cut, then did some, and then I was like, I don't know, I don't feel very well. And I was thinking, like, have I gone a bit too hard? Like, am I burnt out? I've gone a bit too much on the painting. I don't feel well. But then I was a bit like, no, I think I just don't feel well. And then I woke up Sunday, just felt terrible.
No, absolute letdown. You shouldn't let illness get in the way of.
Yeah, so I haven't done any painting this week, but did a decent amount the week before.
No, when I get ill, it's different. When I have the flu, I'm not allowed. I can't paint, but you should be painting at all times.
That's right.
So I've finally settled on a combat patrol.
Yeah.
People that follow us on Instagram have probably seen it, but started Drukhari or Dark Elder, which was a bit of a oversight on my part, I think, because obviously growing up, I did Warhammer Fantasy Battles and did Dark Elf. Love Dark Elf, love everything about them, their story, their models. Just loved, that was my faction for growing up until I stopped doing Fantasy Battles. And essentially, originally, I know they've tried to separate them a bit more now, like Drukhari, giving them a proper GW copyrighted name. But They used to be, or most people still call them Dark Eldar, and originally they were just Dark Elf in space. The same kind of ideas, looks. So I was a bit, why aren't I doing Dark Eldar, Chukari? Why am I not doing them? They're basically my old faction that I loved from fantasy in 40k. And I know the model range is a bit dated now. Some people, I don't really like them. I still think the models really hold up. There's a few models in the range which look a bit, a bit janky. Some of the fine cast resin ones, but we're only concentrating on the combat patrol at the moment. So
and that looks decent.
Yeah, so I've been smashing through that. I've got the Archons done, the Cabalite Warriors are done, the Incubi literally just need their bases doing, which will take me about an hour max.
Just need their bases rimming.
Just need rimming. Just need to give the Incubi a good rimming, which won't take long. I'm a rimming master. We're in about models now.
Team black base rim.
Yeah, definitely. Do love a black rimming. Hang on, I've completely lost my track. So I finished the Incubi. Will do once I've rimmed them, and then I'm going to start hopefully on the Raider. Yeah. Today, maybe definitely Monday, maybe today. Kind of just got into the. I've had a really, like I said, the past few episodes, I've been a bit of a whimper this year with the hobby, but since I got that combat patrol, it was literally the day after our last podcast. He talked about it. I don't know which one to get, and then I thought, no, sorry, I just drove an hour to my local hobby shop. Just thought, I'm gonna have a look. Just didn't really leave until I walked out with the combat patrol.
Fine.
But again, it was there, and I just thought, hang on, kind of a bit of a light bulb moment, an epiphany. Like, why haven't I got Dark Elf? So I just got them and have a look back. So really enjoying that.
And the scheme you've gone for is classic Dark Elf, I think, or certainly the scheme that you.
Well, it was pinky purple kind of. It was I used to do purple, pink. Well, you found one of my old Dark Elf photos, didn't you? It had a purple, pink banner on it. So it's a bit of a nod to my old Dark Elf scheme. And on top of that, Cult of Paint on YouTube, they did that's what initially got me the idea for the scheme. Because I saw it on Cult of Paint, they did like 3 different Dark Eldar models. And one of them was that pinky kind of scheme, using an airbrush for under highlighting and all that. So I thought, I'll do that. And then, like you said, realised, hang on, I used to do this for my old, not quite as, didn't have all the different colours and brands of paint back then, but I used to do a similar kind of scheme for my Dark Elf. So I was like, there we go. Bit of a nod to my old Dark Elf, and I think it's quite a striking scheme. I think it's a bit different than, black with the blue edge highlights on the armour. I thought, I'd do something a bit different. So, going well. Kind of want to get it, ideally, my plan was to get it all finished before Salute so I could treat myself to a bit more, but our idea is initially just to stick with the combat patrol, isn't it? Paint the combat patrols up, play the game. I haven't heard very good things about combat patrol. 10th edition.
Right, yeah.
I've heard it's a bit slow, cumbersome. We've made it simple, but not. What was it? We've made it simple, but not not. I can't remember the stupid tagline that GW came up with. I can't remember it. Simple, not. I don't know. Someone will tell us. But basically, they did some silly tagline that it was streamlined but not simple or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's not, apparently. It's just as clunky. But that's why I keep going back to the one-page rules thing. So if we play, we'll try 40k, and if we're like, I don't think I'm going to be overly enamoured with the rules, but obviously, like everyone says, the lore and the models are great, and you can just port that over to using one-page rules. One-page rules. So you can, like, on there they've got a web builder on their website, an army list builder, and you can just rename the units anyway. So you just find the Dark Elf Raiders, they're called in one-page rules. So just change the warriors, just rename them Cabalite Warriors. So you can still use the same names, use the same lore if you want in your head. It's just a case of the actual mechanics of the game or using one-page rules, which I've heard isn't, it's not perfect. It's got its own faults, but
I think we could play both and then see what suits us. Like, if it might be a case of one just takes longer, so we might be like, if we've only got a couple of hours, let's do a one-page rules game. Yeah.
But again, I think it's more, for me, it's more of a bit like AOS suffers from it, in that it's like, you have your go, you move all your units, you do all your shooting, you do all your magic, you do all your combat, and then I get to, in AOS, I get to hit back at times, but it's just a bit boring for the opponent. Whereas I like with one-page rules and Legion, starting newer games, it's you go unit, I go unit, you go, so it keeps both of you engaged. But again, like you said, I'm more than happy to try both. I'm not saying I don't want to. And 10th edition might be quite good at combat patrol level because you're not worrying about any other. You don't need 15 different books. You've got your downloaded, combat patrol rules. You can download the core rules. Simplified, not simple. That's it. Simplified, not simple. That's what they said. Well done.
There we go.
You stumbled on it without even realising. Yeah, I'll get onto that a bit later with the Adepticon reveals. I think it'll feel like it's
Well, should we move on to that now?
Or we could talk about what we've been. Obviously, this new game.
Yeah.
Well, say new. I've had it for a few weeks now, but recently got you and Darren and my brother into Everdell board game. We're having a bit of a board game evening. I showed my brother it first, thinking he wouldn't be massively interested because he's a bit of a competitive tryhard when it comes to wargaming and things like that. But he loved it. He absolutely loved it. Oh, that's a brilliant game. I love that. And then you come over and he was like, right, come on, we're playing Everdell. So we all played Everdell. You quite like it.
Yeah,
so
I like it.
It's like a worker placement city building game, isn't it? But with absolutely brilliant artwork. And I can never say the word. I'm smashing my words today. Anthropomorphic.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic animals.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really good game. That's again something that I'm looking to maybe get some expansions for. I think it's about 5 or 6 expansions for it. So I'd like to get.
I think I like the fact that it's technically it is competitive. You're playing against each other.
Yeah, you're trying to build the biggest city, aren't you? The best city.
It's almost. It does feel like you're kind of playing on your own. Like you can't really sabotage other players. You can.
There's one thing you can put a fool in someone else's city.
Yeah, you can take cards that you know that they want, maybe, but
use their post office.
Yeah, but I think it's a nice. I don't know. It just feels like a nice game.
It's just chill. It's just
you're building your own city, and it's almost like even if you lose, like we've had 2 games, or I've had 2 games. One where I came last, and one where I came first, and I enjoyed them both the same.
Yeah,
it was because you're
almost competing against yourself as well as other people.
Yeah,
because you're like just trying to get your city built.
And it's looking at like what you've got, and you're like, oh, if I place that, then I can place this. And I'm going to do that next.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I'm going to do that next because then I'll win and that means he won't get this. It's more just you want to build the best city, and the best city does mean, the most points and that kind of thing. But,
well, it's not competitive, but me and my brother were being a bit stupid towards the end of that last game. He wanted what was it? I wanted a postal pigeon for my post office and he took it just so I couldn't get it.
Yeah, and he already had one in his hand.
And he prick. And then I took something to stop him, the teacher.
Oh, yeah.
I took the teacher from school, so and then he already had one in his hand. I was like, taking the teacher, so you can't use it. John, you're a prick if you're listening. Yes, that's kind of gaming wise. We haven't really. It's been more about concentrating on the combat patrols, isn't it?
Yeah,
and playing a bit of that on the side, really, a bit of painting. Ball gaming, not painting.
I think so, and I think in terms of like the content that I've been doing, I did a reel. We did a project with Alex from Warp.
Yep.
So you painted some of his gnomes, and then I did a reel of them coming out the back of a rhino.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was an idea that I had a while ago. And that's done really well. So I'm happy with that.
I like the hello there.
Yeah, fine. And the little frog.
Yeah, fine.
But yeah, I've been I haven't done as much content really, if I'm honest, because kind of been trying to get my head down on the needs really. But I think I was saying to you the other day that it's a balance between kind of pushing content out and kind of keeping people satiated and putting some like funny reels out and podcast clips, and I want to do some more contrast corners and tutorials and things like that, but balancing that with trying to kind of do your own projects. And where you're doing combat patrol, it's kind of like I'm like I need to get on with mine, so it's balancing that. But
it's not even me trying to push you to get. I'm obviously mucking around but I this year, like I said, I started with a bit of a whimper with the hobby, but this is the first thing, and we're in March now, but it's the first thing that I've got that I'm like focused in, I'm really enjoying, want to get it done, want to get it. So it's not a case of even trying to get it out as quick as I can. Yeah. So, for content, or it's just, I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah.
So I want to paint.
Yeah, I think we're getting there now though with like proving like what we can achieve in a short space of time. You know, I think we did a few things like, you know, at the back at the start of last year, we talked about you doing like the night haunt, you know, and smashing them out quite quickly. But I think you very easily forget how quickly you can paint when you've got the motivation, you're interested.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think we did it with Marvel Crisis Protocol. Yeah, absolutely zeroed in. Yeah, we smashed it out in like 3 weeks.
A bit less than 3 weeks it was. 2 of us working on it, but just under 3 weeks it was.
And then you've got the Drakari and then just run with it. I think it's just good that the more and more you do that, I think the more you can kind of get yourself out of a rut when you're in one, because you're like, I shouldn't be in this rut. All I need to do is just find something I'm really interested in and just get my head down and paint it because I know that I can. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, I think before we were looking at combat patrols, and I know you were like, oh, I really like sisters, but you know, just the thought of painting them. Do you know what I mean? Whereas that shouldn't be a barrier now, because it's like, if you like anything, the thought of painting it isn't a barrier, because you're like, oh,
that should be
smashing. Yeah, that's the hobby.
You should be looking forward to that. I get to paint that, and that's what it was with the Drakari. I got them, and then you know, got home, looked and thought, oh my god, I can't wait. Sat straight down, started building them. I was like, So I definitely feel this year it's not been a case of I've lost my. Well, the thing is, I think a couple of weeks ago we had a question from someone saying, have you ever fallen out of the hobby? And at the time I didn't say it because I thought it looks a bit, we're sitting here doing a podcast about the hobby, but I was thinking, I'm kind of worried that I am now, you know, because it was like February, March, and I hadn't really done anything. And I was thinking, shit, am I? Is this it? Am I falling out of the hobby? Because I just couldn't get motivated or interested. And getting those, I'm like, it's almost like that. Oh, good, no, I do still like this hobby. Not that I doubted that I didn't like it, but you know what I mean? It was like that kind of realization, like you said, really, that when you find something that you want to paint and that you're interested in, all those kind of barriers that you put up just fall down. Like, no, I just want to paint them. Oh, they're really detailed. I like those incubi. I showed you the models. I was like, oh, they're lovely, but they're GW in like there's you know, there's like little belts trinkets here, and there's like potions and their prong things on their back have got like chains on them with like broken soul stones, because they break the soul stones of the Eldar when they kill them, so they can't go into them. And I've been listening to a lot of the lore. But there's just so many trinkets and ropes and baubles all up, but I didn't care. Like, next one. Again, like you said, it's a bit like you said before, your brain puts up barrier. Oh yeah, well, I could do that, but I don't really want.
And we've said before as well, when it comes to time, oh, I haven't really got time. I haven't had time to do that. It's like, you will find time when you're
in the zone, when you're motivated to do it.
Like, you know, when Elden Ring came out, for example.
Yeah, we said
I don't know where, you know, the 60, 70 hours came from, you know, but you find it, you know, that is what you're interested in. And I think a lot of the time it's, you know, kind of the doom scrolling.
Yes, yeah.
You know, takes up, I think, more time than you think, which is when you're into something and you're thinking like, oh, every spare minute I'm going to do that, you're not even thinking about doom scrolling, because it's you're thinking, it's not even a question as to, oh, actually I might just sit here on YouTube and scroll for 3 hours. It's like, no, I want to get that done, because
well, it's like, got a half term coming up soon. I think I've got 1 more week and there's 2 weeks off, the Easter holidays, which is obviously, you know, it's fine, but when you're in that zone and I've got a little boy here all day, it's like, oh, I really want to go and build that Ravager or paint that model, and I can't, because he obviously, but he's starting to show a bit of interest. Like the other day, he was like, Dad, can we do some painting? I was like, yes, we can. So over the half term, I'll probably sit him down and give him some old models.
Yeah, just airbrush his Raider for me.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, open the instruction manual. Just follow these 10 steps. Build that Ravager for me. What's a Ravager?
Come back in 10 minutes.
Yeah, fine. But yeah, no, it's good. I feel good. I feel like my hobby motivated. I'm good, in
Engines
the zone.
have started.
Engines have started. Yeah, I feel like it's a late start, but start nonetheless.
Yeah.
But then realistically, what we recorded the last podcast 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, I've not nearly finished, but I've got a Ravager and a Raider with a combat patrol left to do. And I've painted them. I don't know if we said, but we're kind of our aim for these combat patrols is like tabletop plus.
Yeah.
So not, going to go and win any awards or, oh my God, these are, breathtaking. But I would say top end of what you'd see on the tabletop.
Yeah, I would have said so.
Well, that's what we're aiming for. Obviously, we're not saying that we set the standard for what's top end of the tabletop, but that's kind of.
Also, I think I feel like I'm slowly getting like a bit of a style, which is kind of the more like high contrast, quite stark contrast. And I feel like if you go for that style, that looks particularly good on the tabletop because
it pops, it sticks out.
Because there's a huge amount of contrast. So it doesn't necessarily, like you said, it's not going to win any awards. You get it up close and you're thinking, like, transitions are like really visible.
Did you not blend that at all?
Yeah.
But it works quite well in the nids because the carapace armour, it works quite well. It looks almost, I don't know how it would, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
because you get that kind of, you get that snake skin and it's like kind of, you get the coloration and the like camo almost.
Yeah, I think it works well on like natural plate armour. But obviously like those stark contrasts on like a Space Marine or a Dark Eldar.
Yeah, would look
a bit more wool. But on a Tyranid it works.
Yeah.
So I never looked at your Tyranids and went, oh, that's quite stark. I thought that looks cool. But I think also as well, going back to the combat patrol motivation for the painting, because it's only one box of 18 models for me anyway.
Yeah.
When they're painted, they're done. So if you want to paint that and stop at combat patrol, I don't know how good it is. Again, there's probably people listening that'll be like, oh God, combat patrol.
Yeah, big mistake.
Yeah, we don't know that. So we're thinking we're just going to stop at combat patrol, paint it to a tabletop plus standard, good high tide tabletop standard.
Yeah.
And if we play it and go, meh, then that's that, we'll move on. Yeah. Or if we're like, that was good, or let's try 1-page rules, that's better. Let's just play 1-page rules, but by the,
by the model, by the GW models.
Yeah, which is probably the route I think I'll probably go. Because I just like the idea of having
a more simplified game.
Yeah.
Simplified and simple.
Yes. Hey? Get you. 1-page rules to give you a ring. Anyway, that's enough babbling on about bloody 40k and combat patrols. So Adepticon, as we record, is happening right now, isn't it? I think.
Yep. The second day's just happened.
Was it Thursday, Friday? I can't remember when it started. It was when. It's like 4 days, isn't it? Yeah. Is it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
The reveals were
Thursday morning.
Yesterday morning.
Yeah.
So.
We won't go into massive details. I'm sure anyone who's listening knows what the GW Adepticon reveals were, or can a quick Google will show you. But again, I don't know if it's a hot take and I'm probably going to get shit for it, but I was a bit underwhelmed. There was nothing on the reveals that made me go, oh, wow. I thought,
apart from, well, I think if we hadn't have preempted Spearhead, that would have been a wow.
Yes, I was going to say the only thing that kind of made me like sit up a bit and listen was the not so much 4th edition AOS, because I think everyone and their grandma knew that our 4th edition AOS was coming. Oh, what a surprise! But we were kind of said last week that Spearhead's going to be Combat Patrol for AOS, and Shock Horror Spearhead is Combat Patrol for AOS, which as we're really in the Combat Patrol zone at the moment, I kind of like that. It was almost like a bite-sized part of GW.
Yeah.
You haven't got to invest £300-400 in an army. You can buy the Combat Patrol, download your rules. You're playing Warhammer, but you're playing a very small version.
Yeah.
So for us, Spearhead's great. I'm already eyeing up the Cities of Sigmar Spearhead. Oh. I think that could be a salute treat if it's around.
How many Spearheads have they released?
They've only released 2 at the moment, but it does say on the article that you can use Vanguards or Spearheads. So what I'm assuming is going to happen is they're just going to
redo them.
Rebox the Vanguards as Spearheads. So the Lumineth one will just become a Spearhead rather than a Vanguard.
Yeah, it might be slightly different.
It might be slightly different, but if they are releasing the rules for it all soon. They're not going to be able to
That's
update
true.
all the Vanguard boxes before the rules come out, are they? So, but then again, they'll probably just do new rules if they do change it. Because they did it for Necrons in 40k and Admech. They released the new Combat Patrol. They had a downloaded rules for the current Combat Patrol, and then they re-released them with the new Combat Patrol,
Right.
and they gave them new rules. So,
do you think there'll be a Dark Oath one or not? Problem is they've just released a Dark Oath Army box.
well, I haven't released it yet, but yeah, they've announced it. Did we talk about that last week? I can't even remember. We did.
Yeah, it just come out, I think.
But yeah, no, I don't think there'll be one because they're just a sub faction of the Slaves to Darkness. So I think you might get one.
I suppose it. yeah, but probably won't be soon. So
No.
If the Dark Oath Army box is popular, I'd imagine they'll get a Spearhead.
Stop. Just cut the bullshit down and buy the Seraphim one.
Yeah.
That would be brilliant.
What did you get in there?
I don't know.
No,
I can't remember, but it.
Yeah, it's Seraphim.
Probably, yeah, you love Seraphim.
Some Croc Skulls, hopefully.
I think you get Croc Skulls, some Soros Warriors, and maybe like a Carnosaur, a bit like the old Start Collecting.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Stegodon.
If we were any kind of decent podcast, we could have researched it before we started recording,
no,
but we don't do that here. We don't do any kind of research or have anything to talk about that we know we're talking about half the time. So yeah, 4th edition doesn't really interest me apart from Spearhead. The cinematic was quite cool, and it's quite good that Skaven are back. Oh, shocker, Skaven, but Skaven are getting a refresh.
Yeah.
Which looks like that's going to be good. They need it. And I love Skaven. Again, if they did like a clownish in...
Well, Skaven will be one of the first ones to get a Spearhead.
Yeah, Ninja Rats. If they did a Ninja Rat army, that would be like, oh, that would be tempting. Because I've got Skittershanks for
true.
Underworlds, and I love that warband. I love the look of it. So that's essentially Ninja Rats for Underworld. So if they did a Ninja Rat army in a Spearhead, oh shit. My wallet screamed, I can hear it in the other room. What else was there? So was that.
Yeah,
Spearhead was that. To be honest, that was all I really took from the Adepticon reveals.
Yeah, me too. There was Kill Team, a new Kill Team.
So that was Leagues of Votan and
Gene Stealer Cults.
I was a Gene Stealer cult. That was. I thought they were humans.
Yeah, I thought they were.
I know technically Gene Stealer cults are, and you know what I mean.
The screenshot I sent you, I think, was the more human-y.
Yeah, because I say, you don't really care. Well, saying the Nid player, no, I don't care about Gene Stealer cults. What? They're just human tyrannids.
Yeah, fine. But I do like the Votan.
What, in the Kill Team box?
Yeah, in the long coats. I love those. They look brilliant.
They're all right. I would, to be fair, I was saying underwhelmed. I wouldn't say that the reveals were bad. I would say apart from Spearhead now, and not even AOS 4th edition, just Spearhead, but apart from Spearhead for us, it was just like,
The Underworlds one, I was disappointed at.
Yeah, now a lot of people online, again, I know it's Facebook groups, so a lot of people were going to be like, oh wow, and the Warhammer Underworlds group, but I thought it's crap. I don't really care about Flesh Eater Courts. They're okay.
Kind of makes sense because they've been pushing them.
Yeah, again, they're more. It's just, but the human faction.
What is that?
I'm guessing it's cities. I don't. To be honest, in their defence, I haven't actually really read it. I just looked at the screenshots and went,
Yeah.
They've kind of been missing the mark for me for the past couple of boxes, I think.
Yeah, there's been...
Death Gorge didn't really do it
for me.
Death
Gorge, I like the Idoneth, but not really much else. And then, the stuff that's come out.
No, not really interested. Warcry.
But I think we haven't played Underworlds for a little while.
No.
That doesn't help.
And that Moloch box goes out this weekend.
Yeah.
And we haven't pre-ordered it. And there's good chance that'll disappear. We'll be able to get hold of it. So I think we might have mucked up a bit there. Anyway, bit of a live discussion there. Warcry. It was Aussie Alt Bone Reapers.
Warcry. I don't really like Sylvaneth, and I absolutely love Tomb Kings, but I'm not.
Aussie Alt Bone
I don't
Reapers.
Get the Aussie Alt Bone Reapers. I just don't know.
For me, I quite like Sylvaneth. I do like them, but they're okay. They're quite cool. But the Aussie Alt Bone Reapers, don't. And I like Death as a faction.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind some of their models, but I like Tomb Kings because when I think of ancient Egypt, Tomb Kings, you've nailed it. When I look at Aussie Alt Bone Reapers, I don't know what I'm looking at. It's kind of like ancient Egypt meets.
Yeah, I think that's the point. He's just kind of, he builds them out of. I'm not going to try and pretend like I know, but yeah, they don't really look that good. Doesn't really do it for me, that Warcry box. There was some Chaos reveals, wasn't there, for 40k?
Yeah.
They look quite cool, but you probably didn't even look at them twice.
No, I did look, yeah.
No, you don't really like Chaos,
They don't look bad.
Oh, that's not as far as you're going to get. Converting Tyranids, Chaos, bloody hell. I'm trying to think what else there was. I think that was it, wasn't it? Oh, the Old World.
Yeah,
Dwarves.
the Old World Dwarves. They did a little bit of a tease on Necromunda, something coming.
Yeah, don't really care about that.
And there'll be a Stormcast Skaven
box set.
box.
Yeah, there's been leaks online of the rulebook.
So I wonder whether that's going to be a Spearhead equivalent on each
probably,
side.
like it was in Leviathan.
So it might be worth.
It won't be Clan Ashin though, will it? It'll be like Clan Skari or it'll be one of the bigger clans. But
yeah, standard Skaven.
Yeah. Old World Dwarfs. The old Dwarfs again. The old Dwarfs are cool. Old World is a game that I feel like I don't know why we haven't got into it, but I think I'm just a little bit bitter that they're not bringing out my boys. They're not bringing out the Dark Elf. I'm a bit like, oh, fuck you then.
Tomb Kings as well. I think now I've got an airbrush.
Oh God, you could have them
so easy.
You could have them done. If you wanted to go tabletop, if you didn't want to go mad,
airbrush and white, skeleton horde contrast done.
Well, I'd maybe do a bit more than that, but yeah, no, that's what they're fucking getting.
Yeah,
just build them.
You're lucky you're even getting skeleton horde.
You're lucky you're even getting built.
Oh yeah, I've got to build them. Haven't I?
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Oh God, I've got to build a Tomb King army, have I?
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah. So again, I quite like the Orc and Goblin one.
Yeah.
That's tempting. I love it. There's something, don't get me wrong, the old orcs look fucking awful, but there's something about them that I just love.
They've got a lot of character.
Yeah, I just love them. Even though they look terrible compared to some like newer orcs, I just think they look great. I love them.
Yeah.
Same with the dwarfs, really. I wouldn't say they look terrible, but they look dated. But again, I love them. So I feel like the Old World is one that I probably should be invested in, but it's that a bit like we were saying earlier, that barrier of like, because it's like rank and flank. So a unit of 40 goblins, a unit of 30 orc. Oh God, it's like,
I feel like it's more of a player's game than a painter's game.
Yeah, oh definitely.
Now,
yeah. Well,
back then,
I don't know,
you could have 50-50'd it, but I feel like now, the playing it, with the, like you say, with the rank and file,
I feel like problem is for me because I grew up on Warhammer Fantasy Battles. It's what got me into the hobby. I almost feel like I owe it to myself to buy a box of them. I know it's stupid because I'll probably buy it and be like, why the hell did I buy this? But to buy the Orc and Goblin set, that would be, if they released the Dark Elf box set.
Oh yeah, that's it.
That would just get bought. And
no question.
I'll just put it onto the cabinet as a display piece in the box. The Dark Elf army up there. Don't open it.
What have you got for?
Yeah, fine. But I would buy it. Like, it sounds stupid. I would buy it just to have it. It's a bit like this. Something we were looking at recently. I was like, it's almost worth you buying that just to have it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. Was it the Moloch box? With all the 4 war bands. We were like, you just buy that to get it in the cupboard.
Just buy it, just buy it and keep it. Bit like my Dark Oath Savages that got shipped like 3 weeks later.
Oh yeah, that you forgot about. Oh my God, I forgot about these.
Yeah, I bought some Dark Oath Savages and got an email.
Yesterday, wasn't it? Or the day before?
Yeah, the day before, I think. And, you ordered me shit. I'm like, what have I ordered now?
That's not the fact of I haven't ordered anything. What have I ordered now?
Yeah, I'm like...
I've done something.
Yeah, I don't disbelieve it.
No.
Let me see what it is.
Yeah, that's the worrying part. You're not thinking, oh God, I haven't ordered anything. They're wrong. No, I've definitely, I've probably done something that I shouldn't have, but what is it?
Let me open the email and see what the damage is.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
So, that was our brief, absolutely
really.
awful amateur attempt of going over the Adepticon reveals.
Yeah.
If you want to have what was actually revealed, probably go to a much better podcast.
Yeah, the Warhammer community.
Yeah, or any other YouTuber or any who actually does it properly. But in general,
you're not here for the Adepticon reveals.
I don't know what you are here for, to be honest.
Good point.
I don't really. Again, I think because personally, there was nothing really that stood out for me apart from the Spearhead.
I think that's the main announcement, isn't it? New AOS, like regardless of whether everyone knew it was coming. That that is their big announcement.
That is one thing that a lot I've seen online though. Not a lot of people. I'm not going to talk for the internet, but I know there's been what I've been looking around. Some people are a bit like worried because I even went back to the original 40k 10th edition reveal to read how they written down the marketing speak for 40k.
Right.
It's simplified, not simple,
Yeah.
and they're doing something very similar on iOS. It's a whole rewrite of the rules.
Right.
We're streamlining it, but trying to keep the game simple. It's like, oh, this all sounds very very 40k.
Well, I think what people are saying was that iOS isn't bloated and crap, whereas 40k was a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think they're
people are saying, why are you rewriting the rules? They don't need a rewrite. No. They need a tweak. Some things need tweaking, but why are you rewriting them? It's almost like you're trying to homogenize both into the same kind of game, but one's fantasy, one's sci-fi. If you know what I mean, it's a bit like, I think people are a bit worried about what they're doing with
suppose in a way from a not necessarily a business point of view, but like if the games are similar, it does allow you to if you know how to play OS, then you know how to play 40k. That makes sense.
From a business point of view, keeping your games similar mechanically makes sense, but when your mechanics are shit, it's not a good idea.
What they should have done was take the mechanics that were working in OS and apply them to
they should
40K.
That the other way around, but they won't, because iOS 40k is the big boy, isn't it? 40k makes all the money, so they'll want to try and make that the new, the flagship, as it were, the standard. But no, don't get me wrong. I understand. I agree. I think of GW sometimes, but I agree. They should kind of keep the games very similar.
It's a good idea if the rules are brilliant.
And the rules aren't very good. Well, again, I say they're not brief. A, we haven't played it, so it's a bit unfair. And B, just I'm only here.
We don't know.
Anecdotally online, what I've heard, but most people say that you'll get the odd GW can't do anything wrong, like as they swim in the sea. That's a whale reference, not very good. So if they change their rules to make them good, then do them across both systems. But when your rules aren't seen as particularly, considering you're the industry leaders, and your rules are seen, I think they
suffer from having so many people to keep happy. And what I mean is like so many different mechanics and so many different armies and so many different units in that army. You've got like thousands of units to balance.
Well, it's a little bit like going back to one-page rules. I think mechanically, it's a little bit more, the armies are all a little bit similar, like in the terms of, but again, because mechanically it works better. I think, like you said, with AOS and 40k, they try and make every army unique and have its own abilities, and it ends up bogging the game down. So like, we'll play, I've got my, regeneration that does this, and off one button I can re-roll ones, and on 4 I can do this because of my special rule that lets me do this, and you're sitting there going, what? I don't know what you're on about. Whereas when it's a bit more kind of across the board, everyone knows
Is it when it's like a video game, what happens is like they'll be like, we've made this a little bit more powerful because this faction is specialised in this or whatever. All the experts online go mad trying to find like some sort of weird like combination where it's if you use this with this, then it's massively broken. Well, when you're a game developer, you can just do a bug fixes. We fix that, we've nerfed that. Whereas when it's a live game and people are buying models for it and painting them, and it's kind of like you can't act very quickly. This unit's completely broken. Use it in a tournament and the guy's got no chance. It's like but to make live changes.
This is why Games Workshop should move away from the books system and they should go online, like most, like nearly every other company. They should do it PDF. You can update a PDF in an hour or whatever. You don't take get your intern to sit down and just quickly type this new rule up or change this or remove that, and everyone can download it for free. Doing books, I think when the Tyrannid book came out and it was out of date when it was released, before it was released, because they updated all the rules and they changed the points or something. So, anyway, I don't know why we've suddenly swerved into bashing GW, but Should we move on to our awful main topic? Right then, so now we've finished babbling, a bit of a preamble, absolute nonsense. Get on to our absolute nonsense.
Nonsense.
Hobby nonsense.
Hang on.
That's a brilliant name for the beginning. That's what we should call it.
Yeah.
Hobby nonsense. Right, there you go. Moving forward, next time it will be the hobby nonsense, then the main topic. Have to write that down. That's brilliant. There you go. Go on. Something you can't say on there.
We'll keep it rolling. I was thinking, I have to make sure it's not called the Hobby Nonsense.
Oh dear.
This week on Hobby Nonsense.
Oh, Dickie shows his favourite pink paint.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Right, anyway. So now we've done hobby nonsense, we're going to the meat of the episode, as Darren would say. So this week, it was my idea. I don't know how much we can talk about it really, but it was just something I thought would be quite interesting to talk about. Is obviously with the convention season on us, or shows. I don't know, shows, conventions.
Show season.
Is it shows or conventions?
Well, I think we call them shows, and maybe Americans would call them conventions.
But anyway, yeah, convention.
Exhibitions, we might call them.
Yeah, I think it's exhibition, isn't it? Anyway, shows. In the show season coming up now, obviously Adepticon's on. No. We've got now, as we're recording, we've got Salute in April, so less than a month away now, which I can't wait because I haven't been for like 3 years with COVID and then, you know, real life getting in the way. This year I'm like taking my little boy, so that'd be quite nice. Me, Darren and my brother are going to go up, so I can't wait for that. And then obviously in May you've got, May, June, end of May, you've got the UK Games Expo, which I'd say is probably the UK's biggest show. Definitely.
For miniature wargaming.
There's board games in it, but it's just the whole thing. So, and again, I haven't been into that in, God, I started Underworlds. So we're talking about 5-6 years ago, maybe more, since I went to Games Expo. And you went last year. Yeah. So, yeah, no, my little boy's not doing that one. It's just me, Darren and my brother. We're going to go up to Birmingham for the weekend. It's like Christmas. I can't wait. Yeah. That is my highlight so far of the year, I think. But we just thought we could talk about them, the pros, why we love them, why you should love them too. But I think most people in the hobby that can go do. I think so. Yeah, I think it's a case of why we love them, why we find them so useful, why we spend loads of money at them. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't been to a show or exhibition, convention / then definitely do it. Definitely. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. But I think for us, we like to go and kind of see what's new, see what's out there, other games, because we're quite, or you specifically, are quite sort of inquisitive to, you know, what's going on, who's releasing something, you know, who's got a new system that I can. What was that? Sorry, quick side note. What was that message you sent me the other day? Because I was so focused on the Dark Eldar, you were like, "Oh, where's that? Oh, I need that. I found this small game made by 2 men in Austria. That's that's £100, but that's all you need, energy." Yeah. I was like, hey, sorry, I can start looking around if you like. So you're just saying that, you just reminded me about being inquisitive. But yeah, I thought we could just talk kind of through, like just all the things we love about it, really. So yeah, I think that's definitely one thing I like about it. The thought that you don't really know what's going to be there. You know, having a proper look around, having demos. So I think that's one of the main things. If you're interested in a game, but you know, it's not easy to invest in a new game system. Say you're doing 40k or whatever, and if you're doing a Games Workshop game, there's a chance you're fully in their system. To be fair, that's something I would again give props to Games Workshop for. I know they're the globe, the market leader. They would be, but their games are very easy to get into. Yeah. In like, you can go into most places, or if you do want to start, it's like, you just buy this start box. Yeah. It's got everything you need in it. You can play. I find with other games, a lot of them do it well. Like Legion does it well as a core box. Yeah. You know, Shatterpoint as a core box. But there's some games like not TT Combat, sorry, Warlord Games. I don't know if I'm going to offend anyone, but I love the idea of bolt action, but I don't really know where to start. I know you get some starter boxes and they give you a rule book, but even now I'm like, well, what do I do now? What units do I get? Is this I know obviously read that. Yeah. I just find, I don't know why, and it's definitely a me thing, I think, but I find Warlord games or bolt action quite daunting in how to start and where to start. I'm sure it's easy, but
Yeah.
it's not got that kind of, I
Still
don't know.
that plug and play.
Yeah, something about it. And again, that's just me, but yeah, I think, sorry, another GW tangent, but
Yeah, so I think it's if you've got the games that you like and you don't really venture outside of that, then starting a new game system can be a bit daunting. You know, you want someone, maybe a friend that's doing it as well, to kind of go in halves, or at least oh, I've got someone I can play it with when I get it. Then the sort of hobby conventions are great for having like a demo.
Well, it's like you said, you can go to I could go to Warlord Games and be like, I want to play bolt action.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah.
Okay, so you buy this starter box. Okay, then what do I do? Well, what you know, and they'll talk you through. They'll talk you through it and how to play it and what to do and what to buy. You know, that's so it is good, like you said.
Yeah, I almost feel like Warlord Games would do well with don't change the rules at all, because the rules are great. If they're anything like Legion, which we know they're very similar, and I've played bolt action, they are similar. They could do with the combat patrol version. Here's the Americans, here's the Germans, here's the British, here's the Soviets.
I think they do little starter armies for each faction, I think.
Yeah, but I mean in terms of that's all you need.
Oh, okay.
It's like bolt action, combat patrol.
Yeah.
You don't worry about all the other tanks and all the other thing. These are balanced armies.
Right.
So you can buy one, paint it, play it against any other combat patrol.
Again, that's
a brilliant idea.
It is a great idea. Games Workshop would pick gold there, I think, with that combat. Don't get me wrong, I don't know if they've implemented it very well. Balancing, you know, it's a bit of a, Games Workshop have only done it to get into the hobby.
Yeah.
But the idea, the premise is brilliant. Like you said, Legion would be great to do it. Here's a tiny Empire army. Here's a small Rebel army.
That's a good point.
You just buy this. It's got the cards and rules in it.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to buy anything else. Anyway.
They could do skirmish boxes.
Yeah.
500
they have rules for it. They don't have. Anyway. Sorry, we're all over the place. But yeah. I think something I love about shows as well is like you are surrounded by the community.
Yeah.
Everyone is there for the same reason as you are. Okay, they might play different games. They might be GW, Wales. They might be, no, I hate GW. All I want to play is Infinity or Bolt Action or, Legion or whatever. They might, but they all love the hobby. You can you can be around people of your kind.
For once in your life, you're not an outcast.
Yeah. You're not a social weirdo. You can actually walk around. But yeah, you're surrounded by people that love the hobby as much as you do.
Yeah.
And that's great.
And it's infectious as well.
It is. It really is. Because you go there, it's a bit like, we went up to Warhammer World. I know it's not a show or convention, but being in that space with everyone playing on the tables at Warhammer World.
Yeah.
And being around staff that obviously want to sell you things, but they're all passionate about it.
Yeah.
We tried walking away with Blood Bowl. Was it Blood Bowl or was it Kill Team, or one of both?
I was going to say it was either. If they had Chalnath, we probably would have walked away with it.
Yeah. So because you said that infectious kind of atmosphere that these shows, conventions, places that everyone gathers. I'm sure it's the same in any kind of show or hobby. So like someone who loves, I don't know, golf, and they go to a golf convention, or I don't know. If that's
I've got a new set of gloves.
Yeah.
That I wasn't even looking for.
That's something we're terrible at shows.
Yeah.
Because we kind of like get into that atmosphere. You get kind of pumped up for a game because you're there. Oh my God, this is, and then you all go in on it, get it home, and go, why the hell did we buy this?
Yeah.
But
I think that's the dangerous thing when you're going in with someone else on it, because all of a sudden the system that was 60 quid to start is 20 quid to start. Well, that's the barrier to entry is,
it's
20 quid might as well be zero.
Yeah, to say, it pretty much is. Why wouldn't you buy a game for 20 quid? But I think also that kind of links on slightly, I find, with shows, is like they can help motivation, because I was feeling, like I said recently, until I got that Dark Elder Combat Patrol, I was thinking, even in my head, I was thinking, that's right, when we get to Salute, being there and getting into, I'll pick something up and
Surround yourself.
I'll get back into it, because you, like you said, you get that buzz and you get there, you see a new game or a system, or you pick up something that you've been looking for a while, and you want to get back. You want to, I'm excited, I've got this thing I wanted. And you get talking to creators about it, or people there, and
like you say, if we go to Warlord Games, and we truly ask them, we'll be completely honest, we've got a band of brothers, but we don't
really
know where to start.
Yeah.
And talking to someone there, it's like, oh yeah, no, it's simple. You just get this, get that, and that starts the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Like, now I want to get home and start painting it. You know, it's
Well, it was a perfect example, a bit like when we went to Broadside. A much smaller show, but it was one like more local to us. But there was a huge Star Wars Legion table.
Yeah.
And we were like, we want to play Legion, but we don't really know what we're doing. And we were talking to the guys on the demo table, and they were absolutely great when they were really good, really patient with us, and they were, just buy a core box. So what faction do you want to play? Oh, I'd like to play Empire, and you were like, I'd like Rebels or Droids. I can't remember what you said, Rebels or. They were like, oh, well, buy that core box. And then all you really need to buy is maybe an extra unit each. So you buy some Stormtroopers, you buy some more Rebels, and that's enough. That's enough to get going. You can build them, paint them, and that's a legal army to play the game. Oh, great, okay. So we did exactly what they said. We bought that. We bought 2 extra boxes. Yeah. And the rest is history.
Yeah, and we absolutely love it. You know, it's getting you into that system. The game does have to be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, like you said, it's that, you know, going to like Moonstone or something and saying, you know, you look at all these kind of crews, oh, what do I do? You know, whereas, what do I need? You know, what?
Bare minimum, what do I need to start playing this game? I feel that's the problem with the Band of Brothers one. I know it's meant to be bare minimum, that's what you need, but I had a flick through the rule book, and it was quite, again, you know what I'm like. And admittedly, by my own admission, I'm a bit of a lazy bastard. I like an easier rule set. Yeah. Not easy, simplified, not simple. Yeah. I like...
Thing is, it is quite easy.
Well, you've played it, so you know. But it's just the rule book I found a bit like, oh God, there's lots of... I don't know, I found it quite hard to digest. I found that a bit with Shatterpoint as well. Well, I know the rule book was absolute mess when it first got released. So
I think that's the advantage of having like a kind of a core box or like a combat patrol system where the rules are slightly more simplified. So with bolt action, you get the full core box, the core rules. So you're looking through and you're like, oh, how do flamethrowers? Like, I don't understand how flamethrowers work. It's like, there's no flamethrowers in that box. Don't worry about that. Yeah. You know, it's kind of, you almost need someone to say, you've got riflemen and you've got a sniper and you've got machine guns. Yeah. That's it. You've got 3 rules to worry about. This is how you move. This is how you shoot. These are the modifiers. Go. You know, that's essentially bolt action.
Well, I have, thinking about it, you've just reminded me, and I feel like I've just made myself like a complete idiot on our podcast, but in the bolt action box, there is a big fold out sheet. Yeah. That says start here. Do this, do that, do this. Yeah. So, but I think the problem for me is, great, I know how to play these, but I don't understand how the game works on moving forward. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, that's great, we've started playing, but now I don't know what to do once we've played these models.
Yeah, whereas, you kind of want, this is the great starter set, this is the great place to start, but for your sort of hobby progression, because progression, I know we talked about it before, but it's such a big part of the hobby. So it's like, you want them to make it easy to start with, but you also want to know, where am I going?
Yes.
What's the end goal? Yeah. But, you know, buy this box set and it's a 500-point army and you have everything you need. You don't need to get anything.
And here's the simple rules.
If you want to go further, these are the units that you can have a 2,000-point game.
That's what I kind of like again about Combat Patrol, in that it's almost like a dead end if you want it to be. Yeah. You play the Combat Patrol, you've got the rules, you've got your stats, you don't have to look at anything else because that's it. Yeah. If you do want to buy more, then that's obviously when you go down the rabbit hole. But again, kind of going on about talking to people, it's obviously a great place to meet people as well. Yeah. Like a lot of local clubs go to, I don't know about in the US, I'm assuming they do, but here, a lot of local clubs will go to the, the shows. Like Salute is run by London Wargaming, isn't it?
Yeah, London Warlords.
Yeah, London Warlords. So they run it. They're a massive gaming group. So you can go there and, I live in there. I've got no one to play with. Oh, well, actually, there's a gaming group that are actually down the road from me. I didn't realise because I've met them at Salute or I've met them at the Games Expo. Yeah. You join their Facebook group. Next thing you know, you've got people to play, and so it's good for like, not even networking in like terms of a content creator or anything. I mean, just literally you can go and meet groups.
Meeting like-minded people, people that are just doing the hobby. That's what I quite like, even if it's people that are well known in the hobby, they're still just doing the hobby. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like, even if they're kind of like celebrities, it's not.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like meeting David Bowie. You know, it's
no. You went up and you met, I don't know, Louise Sugden or Peachy or someone.
Yeah.
You know, they wouldn't. You know, oh, you know, I've been painting the Dark Elder. Oh, cool. Have you? What colour scheme? You know, they wouldn't be like, oh, go away. You know,
No.
well, I'd like to think they wouldn't be, but you never know.
Get out.
Again, going about painting again, kind of trying to link them in. Something else as well, which isn't for me, but there's always that for you. I know it's something that I feel like is an inevitability. Painting competitions.
Yeah.
Most of these gaming shows have
a competition.
of some sort. Yeah. So obviously we haven't got a Warhammer one this year. There's no one in the UK. But Salute have a paint competition. I think the Games Expo do.
I think so.
I don't know, but I'm not entering it this year. I don't want to, but I feel like one year you're going to.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if Warhammer Fest is in the UK next year, I'll enter something into Golden Demon.
Fine.
And I don't know what my kind of aim will be, but I just want to enter something.
Yeah, well, again, I think that's what they say, isn't it? Don't worry about what you get. Your goal is just enter something, which I know I should do. I think
I'll try my best. You know, I'm not going to just, I'll enter something I've already painted. You know, I will give it a go. But
I think you doing that might make me think, oh, you know what, I'll do it then.
Yeah.
But for me as well, this is a personal thing. I don't know about. Well, I know Darren does as well. But for me, it's not just about the show.
Mm.
For me, it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So they're getting, you know, it sounds
the experience.
Really, yeah, well, the road trip, getting up early. Right, we're going to jump in the car. We're going to go to the shops, grab some breakfast or whatever. We're going to drive up, just talk nerd and stupid things for, you know, 2-hour drive or 4 hours in Birmingham. You know, that kind of, you know, just go around the whole show. Like, for instance, when we go to Birmingham, it's not just the Games Expo we'll be doing. We'll be going up. We'll go up early the day before.
Yeah.
We'll go to Warhammer World. We'll probably visit an Element Games of some description.
Yeah.
We'll go out for dinner.
See what other hobby shops are about.
Yeah.
Look get a massive takeaway.
Yeah.
Take loads of games.
Yeah, take some games up. You know, maybe try Combat Patrol up there, you know, for the first time. That kind of thing. You know, we will probably play it before then, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We will. It sounds very well. No, I say it sounds silly, but everyone listening, I hope can. I'm thinking normal people, but hearing me say, but I'm thinking like most people that do shows and travel to shows probably have the same experience. They go out with some friends, or they're going to meet friends there, and you make a weekend of it. You make a couple of days of it. You know, you have a look around. You go out for food. You look at other, you know, play games. Oh, just the whole experience for me is just absolutely great.
Mm.
So I can't. That's what I mean. Not so much. I think maybe not so much for Salute in terms of the day, because for
Salute's
us,
quite sort of insular. You know, it's
relatively local to us, compared to, like, you know, the Games Expo. You know, it's just over an hour away. We can drive up there, have a look, drive home. You know, it's not like a.
Yeah, that's interesting. We should go to Bad Moon.
I don't know where that is.
If we're going to London.
Where is it? Is it close?
I don't know where it is either,
I think it's right in London though, isn't it?
I don't know. I'll have a look.
Come on, Dragon little boy. I want to go home, Dad. Shut up. No, I'm going to put him on my shoulders.
But yeah, you're right. Salute's kind of. Yeah.
I think because it's like, I could be wrong, but I feel like Birmingham, Nottingham, that kind of area is almost like the mecca for.
Yeah, Nottingham definitely.
Yeah, Nottingham. Yeah. Well, yeah, GW are there, but so Nottingham isn't far from Birmingham, so that kind of area is like the mecca for hobby in the UK. We live down in the south, where there's like nothing. There's 2 hobby shops near us, and they mainly focus on Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, they don't really.
So I suppose for us, it's the road trip. You know, whereas if you lived in Nottingham,
you could pop up to.
Yeah.
But for us, and like I said, I suppose for a lot of people, it's all about getting together with your friends. You know, driving up.
And it's just escaping for a couple of days.
Yeah.
You know, with like we said about the conventions, like with like-minded people, you can just be a massive nerd, play a load of Warhammer or whatever you play, and just you just have a great time for 2 or 3 days. Like if you're going to the UK Games Expo, they're open quite late as well, so you can kind of stay and play board games and meet new people.
Well, we did toy with the idea of going to the Games Expo for 2 days, didn't we? We were going to go up Friday morning, go that afternoon to the Games Expo, and then go again Saturday. But I think we're kind of thinking now we're going to, while we're up that way, make the most of it. So we're going to visit Warhammer World.
Yeah, probably have a hobby day and then a Games Expo day.
Because I think we might have said in the past, but our last year Warhammer Fest for us, the day before for me was the best day.
Yeah.
Because we drove up early, but we went to Element Games in Birmingham. Nottingham, sorry.
Yeah.
We went to Element Games in Stockport. We
went to Seventh City Collectibles,
Warhammer World. Yeah,
games.
Yeah, we did almost like a hobby pub crawl, as it were, like a hobby crawl. We basically went around all around the area because again, we're not really around that kind of thing. So while they're there, it's like, why wouldn't you go and have a look?
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot what I was saying now.
Well, that it's that it wasn't really about Warhammer Fest.
No,
trip.
It was that whole trip was about the whole.
That said, if Warhammer Fest had been amazing, then it would have been about Warhammer Fest.
And I feel like for me at least, it's the experience of the whole weekend or week or whatever long it is.
Well, we went to a show in Manchester.
Oh God, yeah.
Before that was the year before.
Yeah, Tabletop Live.
Tabletop Gaming Live, yeah.
And to be fair, the name's a bit of a lie because there's no tabletop gaming there really. It's more board games which are tabletop. But
I don't know. Yeah, it was like 80-20.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's a long way. That's a long way for us. That's kind of like 6 hours.
Yeah, and it wasn't worth the trip. Well, I say it wasn't worth
but the trip was great.
The trip was great, but the actual show was a bit of a letdown. But then again, when we were up there, we went to Warhammer World. We went to Element Games. While you're up there, that was the first time we went to Element Games, wasn't it? We'd never been before.
Yeah.
Walked in and it was like, oh my God.
Yeah, Element Games in Stockport is
top
next level.
Yeah, floor to ceiling hobby. And it's like, oh God, if that can't motivate you to get painting, nothing will.
That's it. Yeah, we failed. Sorry.
Just get a new hobby.
Yeah.
So really, it's obviously a good place for us as well, for me at least. Well, no, for us, both of us, really, is to do a good hobby supply run.
Yeah.
Because again, around here, unless you order it online, there's not really anywhere to pick up your Vallejo paints, your nice brushes.
Scale 75, and there's nothing like seeing the colours in person as well. So
all brushes.
Got a rack.
Yeah.
And brushes, yeah.
So it's good for like topping up your hobby. They're just absolutely great, I think, shows. I do, like you said at the beginning, really, if you haven't been to one, really try and make the effort to go to one. Yeah,
drag your someone out, someone that you either's into the hobby or if they're not, then you will be dragging them. But
and most people, not most, I know a few shows at least normally sometimes do a reduced rate for like partners or kids.
Right, yeah.
For instance, like Salute does children, I think up to 16 or 15 free.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you don't want to be paying for your kid who doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think one of them does a reduced rate for partners. Because obviously, like if I drag my wife, she's going to be like, oh, but you don't want to pay full price for her to drag her feet around the show the whole afternoon. But
yeah, but I'd say Salute as well. Well, I suppose the two that we're going to
we'll go to
much more family orientated because there's more board games there. So Salute is more like tabletop, like wargaming.
Yes, I would say it's not the problem, but one thing with Salute, I think, is it's more of a trade show.
Yeah,
you go there to buy. There's demos, but it's mostly people demoing games to sell you games.
It's kind of trade show / historic. / smaller. War games.
Yeah, whereas I would say the expo, like you said, is more of an experience. You've got the bring and buy. You've got the loads of demos, you've got loads of games going on, you've got ball games where like you said, it opens late and you can play games in the evening, so it's more, like you said, it's more of a general hobby experience, whereas I'd find Salute is absolutely great. I can't wait. I haven't been for years, but it's definitely more of verges more on trade show territory, I think, than.
What would you rank the UK shows?
Oh, we should have opened with that. That's a good idea. I would say well, again, I don't know all of them, so I'm going to miss loads. I'm sure people, what about this one?
Let's say top 5.
Top 5 that I can think of. Okay, well, I think Games Expo.
Yeah.
It's the biggest one. It's got the most stuff. Everyone will be there.
Yeah.
So if you want something, you go to the Games Expo.
Yeah.
Then Salute.
Yeah.
Again, Salute is great. It's only up the road. Technically, comparatively, it's only up the road from us. It's a great one for, again, picking things up. I think it's getting more popular every year. It's getting more things there. It's getting bigger. So probably Salute next. Trying to quickly whiz through the ones we've been to.
Well, we've got Selwig, which is a smaller show. We've got Broadside, which is even smaller than that. But then you've got Warfare.
I think third for me would be Warfare.
Yeah.
Now, I know when we went, I was a bit like, but the reason I was a bit, because I think I was a bit showed out by that year.
Yeah.
We had done lots of little shows.
Yeah.
So we'd done Broadside, Selwig. We went to another one. We did quite a few other shows. And I think at that point, it was near the end of the year. The coffers were dry because obviously Christmas was coming out, because it's nearer the end of the year. Isn't it like October time?
Yeah, I think it's November maybe.
So it's a bit like I haven't really, it was good, but like I said, again, the best part is the drive up there. But I'd say probably Warfare is probably, just for size comparatively, because you think that the tournament scene there is huge.
Yeah, I think so. I'd say Warfare, Selwig, Broadside.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'd say for us. But again, that's obviously,
but I know we haven't been to Colours.
Yeah, Colours, ChillCon, we haven't been to.
Yeah.
Which again was one that Colours we didn't know about until after it had been on.
Yeah.
Was that this year or last year?
That was last year. So
when is that?
I think it's in September.
So that could be one I'd like to do.
That's one I'd like to do, just purely because we've never been and it's not as far away for us.
No.
ChillCon is in Derby,
which is quite far,
and it's one day. So I think it's one day. So
it's
yeah,
not really worth the drive. That's a good thing about Salute, because it's only up the road. We can drive back in you leave here at 9 o'clock in the morning, you'll be back by 5 o'clock in the evening. Yeah. Whereas like the Games Expo, you have to make a weekend of it because it's like a 4-hour drive. Yeah. And again, like you said, the Games Expo is worth it because it's huge.
Yeah.
Whereas
there's so much to see. You could spend 3 days there. If you were demoing, say, 50% of the games there, you'd be there for 3 days.
Do you think going to shows, who you go to the shows with makes the show more?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I know last year you went to the Games Expo on your own. Well, you took your dad.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, fair play to your dad for going with you.
Yeah, But it was a good trip.
He's not going to go and buy Shatterpoint boxes. He's not going to go and buy a Star Wars Legion box and paint it with
He's not going to convince me to start 8 new systems.
From Austria, by the 2 guys that...
But no, I guess it's, going with someone into the hobby versus going with someone not into the hobby. I think, you don't... Obviously, you get all your normal benefits of doing a road trip with someone.
Yeah.
But you don't kind of, it's not really necessarily as much of an escape. When you're going with people from the hobby, it's literally like those 2 days, you just, all you talk about and all you think about is hobby.
That's what makes me laugh.
That's the difference.
Every time I come back from the shows, my wife's like, Darren all right? Yeah, he's all right, yeah. John all right? Yeah, he's all right. What do you talk about? Nothing. What do you mean nothing? Well, we just talk nerd.
Yeah.
What? Well, you didn't ask how Darren's job's going? No. Do you think I care about his job? We're there to look at models. We're not there to talk about...
Can you afford to start this new system? Yeah. That's all I want to know.
Yeah, I don't care about how much he's earning a year or what he's doing at the weekend. We're here to look at little plastic men. I don't care about any of that. But she doesn't... Yeah, she's like, well, what? Why didn't you talk about... Because we'll talk about that when we're not driving up to Nottingham, calling each other every name under the sun for the Burger King. But yeah.
So I think that's kind of, in a nutshell, that's why we love shows, really.
It's just, I think definitely for me, it's definitely more the social, because I could happily go to a show and not spend a penny.
Yeah.
I could go up to Expo with no money.
Yeah.
And I would absolutely love it. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't, because I'd want to have money to buy something, but I could. If I went up to the Games Expo with, £10 in my pocket, I'd be like, yep, fine.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'd love it.
Yeah, it's like, you just like looking at stuff.
Yeah, just like you said, being...
Dioramas and all stuff.
Play some demos.
Yeah.
I love that. Remember that game. We might get that one when I can. That kind of thing. It's like you said, it's like kind of enveloping yourself in the atmosphere and the hobby.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have some money in your pocket. So if you think, hang on.
So go with 300 quid.
Go with 300. If you don't go with 300 quid, you fucked up. I think we went last year.
If you come back with any money, you fucked up.
That's what I said last year, wasn't it? I think I went up with like a £300 budget up to Warhammer Fest. I was like, if I come back with any money, I've made a mistake.
I failed.
Yeah, and I didn't come back with any money. I think I came out with like £30, and I think I bought my wife a takeaway. There you go, get a takeaway. So yeah, not again, just all over the place ramblings, but
yeah,
basically, long story short, TLDR, go to shows if you can, obviously.
Yeah,
because they're absolutely great, and I'm assuming in the next few podcasts, when we've been to said shows, we'll give a little rundown.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so once we've been to Salute, we went to Salute.
Yeah.
Mistakes were made.
As per usual.
Yep.
That's forecasted.
I'm worried about the Arc World stand at Salute because I'm trying to, it sounds awful, I always have like a hobby budget, and I'm trying to save said hobby budget for the expo. I want to go to Salute and get things, but it's like, say I've got like a 100% hobby budget, I'm thinking 30% for Salute, 70% for the Games Expo. But I am worried about Salute I don't think Alex is at Expo. I think he's at Salute, but I don't think he's at the Games Expo. And like I said, I just see his models and I'm like, yeah, here's my wallet. I'm done. So gotta be careful there.
Pace yourself.
Pace myself.
Yeah.
Trying to think, I'm thinking in my head, hobby supplies for Salute, so some brushes, maybe some paints, and then all the mistakes will be made at the Games Expo. Yeah. But
right.
On to the next one then, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to our next topic, which is Sprue or False. So this is a little section we do where every week we take it in turns. One of us will think up some like hobby questions, and we want your knee-jerk reaction: Sprue or False. So it's my turn this week to come up with some questions. Yeah. Now, I say they're quick-fire questions. Okay. Mine are a bit wordy, so you're going to have to bear with me.
Long questions.
Long questions, yeah. So my first one. When looking to buy into a paint range, you need to buy multiple shades or tones of the same colour. Sprue or False? So if you're going to buy like scale 75, you would go in and you'd be like, right, I'll buy 3 different shades of red, 3 different shades of blue, 3 different shades of yellow. What would be Sprue or False? Would you go and do that, or would you?
No, I'd say False. I don't think you need to. No. I'd want to.
Yeah, you'd want to.
I'd want to, but I don't think you need to. It also depends on what colours. Are you saying I've got no paints?
You've got no paints. Yes. So you're going to buy a new paint. Your paints get stolen tomorrow, and you've got to start again.
I'd say Sprue then.
Oh, see, I would always say False because you can make colours.
You can make colours, but I would say I would probably want at least 2 shades of a colour.
Okay.
To decently make, because the thing is, you can. I suppose you can brighten. I was just thinking
you could buy a nice yellow.
Yeah, I suppose
that'd give you a bit of a light.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I wouldn't buy darker because I feel like you can always. I don't know. You can make any colour, can't you?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So you Sprue or False?
I'd say False. You don't need to. You don't need
False.
to.
I'd
You're
say
right.
False. Yeah, I'd say False. So.
Because I was thinking, I want a light yellow. We'll just mix white with yellow then. And then light, and it'd be a lot of work. But,
it's
False. Yeah.
To start off with, like for instance, like the reason I thought of this one is because we've been talking about getting to the Pro Acryl range.
Yeah.
And I'm doing what we always do. I want to buy every colour.
Yeah.
And you've been saying, no, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Just get the primaries.
Yeah.
Red, blue, green, yellow. And then go from there. Now, obviously, you're probably looking at it from a different angle because I've got hundreds of colours and shades. I don't need to buy 3 shades of Pro Acryl green, but I want to.
Yeah.
But if you were starting again, you would still probably say, just get a few basic colours and go from there. But yeah. So my next one, this one's a bit of a wordy one as well. Hopefully it makes sense. It made sense when I wrote it, but let's see if I might have to explain what I mean. But so GW's business model will reach a ceiling in which they will have to change the business model or lose market dominance. So basically, do you think?
Yeah, so that does make sense, but just explain specifically what you mean by their business model, as in which particular
high prices.
Yeah.
Locking models behind starter boxes. Oh, there's a new model, but it's in this starter box you've got to buy, and it's more about the pricing, really. Their structure. They put it into limited, really, FOMO, lots of FOMO. Do you think that will get to a point where they either have to change what they're doing, Otherwise, they will start to lose
No,
the market. So false. Do you think?
I think false only because I think the only people that's going to wake GW up is another company. It's not the customers.
Because
they've got too much control.
They're always going to have the whales, aren't
yeah,
they?
and the customers love, they love it. For the reasons we talked about last time. But it's going to be another company. It's always go back to the kind of the Schweppes lemonade. Schweppes had the tonic market forever. Like tonic water was Schweppes. There's a few other brands of things that just are that thing. There's no other brand. And Fever Tree came in and just took it because they were different, because they were, you see what I mean? So it's kind of like there's an opportunity there for a company to come in and rival GW, but I think all the time that's not happening. And so many people are kind of coming in, they try, and it's a really hard thing to do, as we know. But I think that's what it will take. Someone to come in and revolutionise it, a business, an ambitious business person with a ton of money behind them to say, this is a new miniature game, sit up and pay attention. Then they'll be in trouble. Then they'll have to change their business model.
As much as it pains me, I completely agree. Because I'd like to think they get to a point where customers are going to be like, no, you're taking the piss. That's too much money. I'm not paying it. But they won't.
No, it's not a democracy.
No.
It's they're running a business.
Yeah.
They want to do the best for their customers, but it's not a kind of...
I don't know if they do. They want to do the best for their shareholders.
Well, the thing is, it's kind of the same thing, because if they're not pleasing anyone, then no one's going to buy it. You see what I mean? Like they want... It's this kind of the Amazon approach of like being customer centric and everything is for the customer is all to make money. Yeah, everyone's trying to make money, but it's.
But then you can never really forget the point that they have got shareholders they've got to please.
Yeah.
So everything always feels like but you're doing that because you're locking that behind that because you need to sell boxes, because that puts your profit margins up, because people are going to so the shareholders are going to be happy. But unfortunately I do agree with you. I do think that it won't change because it takes the customers to change, and they're always going to have their whales. They're always going to have the people that buy everything. So,
but I think in terms of like shareholders being happy, I know that's kind of quite a bit of like a soundbite, but the alternative is the company's losing money. That's when the shareholders aren't happy. So it's almost like, what do you expect Games Workshop to lose money? Yeah,
that's what I think. I think they'll gouge their customers as far as they can to keep shareholders happy. So but anyway, so true or false?
False. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too false.
I do agree with you on that one. And my last one.
Good questions.
When painting a model, you should always have a colour scheme or plan in place before starting.
I'm
not even sure the answer for this one myself.
No, I'll tell you where I am. My gut reaction is yes, because so many times I've not had a colour scheme in mind, and I would say 80% of the time that's been a bad idea. But there's the 20%. That's the thing is,
exactly.
Should you always have? I don't know whether it's black or white.
Some of my most favourite models have been a case where I haven't even thought about it. I've just sat down and started painting it. I'm doing I can't think of an example now, but I'm doing Nighthorn. They're ghosts. I'll do them white and green. I don't even really think about it.
I would say it's good to have an idea for the colour scheme that you're going for, but you don't need to have like
the execution nowadays.
Yeah, that doesn't need to be extremely specific. So like when I did my Seraphim Warcry warband, I knew I was going to do. I remember messaging you and saying like I might do like a purple to blue to green blend. I didn't know what purples, what blues, what greens.
Your Warcry schemes. Yeah. So I thought you meant your original.
No. But I knew I wanted some sort of triple blend.
Yeah.
So yeah, had I not known that, I wouldn't have known where to start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't have just started painting it purple and thought,
Yeah,
oh, I
yeah.
might add a bit of blue.
Mm.
So I think you should have a rough idea. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I again agree with you. I think you should always have an idea in place in your mind, but there has been. It's a hard question really for me. Even I'm trying to answer because I think I've had moments, like I said, where I've just sat down and not really had any kind of idea in my head and just painted, and it's, oh my god, that's great. But then I would say, like you said, nine times out of 10, it's always best to have a rough idea or at least a kind of basic scheme in your head.
Yeah, and I would say a bad example is me with the Stormcast.
Yes,
I didn't really know what I was doing.
You just started putting colour on.
And it was a bit of a catastrophe from start to finish, to be honest. You know, and it makes it not enjoyable.
Bit as well, again, I don't know if you agree, probably you know, bit like your Grey Knights.
Yeah.
In that you knew they were
100%,
silver.
100%.
Yeah, I know they're silver, they're Grey Knights, and I've got to do silver, but you didn't really have
I didn't have a clue what the scheme was.
Yeah, you didn't know what colour are their tabards, their their pauldrons, what you do on their weapons. I don't know. I know they're grey, so I'll just do silver.
Yeah, I was going to kind of box art them, but then, what colour are you going to do their swords? Oh, I want to do something a bit different, but something a bit different isn't, I don't really know. What colours have I got? You know, I think it's that sort of thing of if you don't have a goal, you don't really know what you're trying to achieve. So it's sort of like, oh, that doesn't look very good. It's like, yeah, but what were you going for? Oh, I don't really know. It's like, well,
that's you. That's you.
You don't know then.
That's you with the Stormcast and the Grey Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't really look good. What were you trying to get? I don't know. I was just trying.
I was just trying stuff out.
Yeah, I was just trying contrast over the metal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you didn't really know what you were doing.
No.
They came out fine in the end.
Yeah, they looked all right.
Where are they? Have you still got them?
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering where they were. I thought they were in the cabinet with the other ones.
Yeah, they're in the bin. I mean,
fine. That's fine. That's probably the best place for them.
That's
they were overpowered as fuck anyway. So yeah, good thing they were in the bin.
Might use them.
John always did. So you think true? You do need a scheme in place. Sprue, sorry.
Sprue, I'd say, yeah, for the most part, Sprue. I think that would be unfair.
There's a few underlying faults. I would say on that one, but in general, Sprue.
Yeah.
There we go. There's my 3 wordy questions.
They were good.
There you go.
I enjoyed that.
There you go.
Right. So it's time for Paint Grey eBay.
We're still too cheap to get any kind of graphics in the.
Yeah. Got the Paint Grey eBay graphic.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't watch it back.
No.
I hate my own voice. I can't stand watching myself, so I never watch it
back.
No. My wife puts it on because she watches the reels and she sometimes listens to it, and I can't stand. Turn it off. Turn it down. I can't stand. Hate my voice. So yeah, Paint Grey eBay. So we choose 3 models, sometimes at random, sometimes one of us will surprise the other. But this week we've both kind of to do some Adepticon reveals. So yeah, we have to paint one, leave one grey, so it just sits in the cupboard, pile of shame, and one gets eBayed, so it goes, well, obviously straight on eBay.
Straight on eBay. Scalp it.
Scalp the shit out of it, especially if it's GW. So the first one we're going to go for. So you can go first, Aaron. So the 3 we've got is Abraxia, Spear of the Everchosen. So it's a new Age of Sigmar model for the books they're doing, the Dawnbringer series, sorry. The Dawnbringer books. It's a new Chaos hero. She's on a big dragon. Bearing in mind, not trying to sway your opinion, Darren, but look at her face. She looks like Mike Tyson. I thought it was a bloke until I started reading. So I started reading the description. She, since her earliest days, amongst the spire tyrants, she
can bite your ear off then.
She will bite your head off. Look at her. So there's that one.
Yep.
Then I think the next 2, because we do in general always keep an eye on Underworlds. We like Underworlds. We play it occasionally. We haven't played it for a while, but we do like the game. So we always keep an eye on the new, warbands coming out. So I thought we could do the 2 warbands for the new Wintermoor, is it? Wintermoor coming out. The Brethren of the Bolt, which is some kind of cult that follows Sigmar.
I like the fact they're a cult.
Yeah, you like that?
But that's where it stops.
And the Skinnerkin, which are basically flesh-eater courts, which I feel like we had a flesh-eater courts warband relatively... Did we have one? No, it's probably the new Age of Sigmar
warband.
Yeah, that's what
I'm thinking. And they were in the...
They had their new box set, didn't they? That's what I'm thinking of. They had that army box for AOS. So.
Yeah, that's it.
So you can go first. So you got the Mike Tyson on a dragon and the 2 Warhammer.
That was going to be pain.
2 Warhammer Underworlds warbands. So what are you thinking?
Yeah, I like I say, I like the fact that these are like a cult, but they're
Take that out of your head. It's not the lore. It's the models.
It's the models, and I'm not. There's one model that I like. It's sort of this. I don't know what this knight that's just completely you can't really
Covered in bandages.
you can't really see anything. But I like his pose. That sort of
It's like a
statue pose. Yeah, where he's kind of got his sword in front of him. Yeah, I like that. But the whole warband is not a bit of me at all.
I really feel like this in general. This Underworld is a bit of a. I like the boards, like a nicey theme, but you're obviously not going to paint them. But I feel like this core box is a bit of a miss for me this time.
Yeah.
There's normally a warband I quite like, and then one I'm not bothered about. Or sometimes you'll get I like both, but these two don't really do anything for me that much.
Missed the mark a bit. This guy looks. Yeah, the main guy sort of just looks like a baby.
Oh, with the on his shoulders, the guy sitting on his shoulders. Looks like he's got a little belly, a little face poking out of his belly.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So you got that one. So and then you got the flesh-eater court one, which in my opinion is the better of the two.
That is the best. Yeah, the better of the two. I'm not a massive fan of like chaos, but I do like death. You know, I do.
Sounds very dark. You mean in terms of Warhammer?
yeah.
I just like death.
Being specific, but you know what I mean, like vampires and like skeletons. I do like that kind of thing. So it's not that I don't like anything evil.
You just started a Tyranid army, so you better like evil stuff.
I think these are cool.
And then obviously go back to Mike. You got Mike Tyson on the dragon.
Mike Tyson, yeah, that's the thing. So the paint's between the flesh eater courts and Mike Tyson. You got to paint that.
Yeah, you got.
That's got to be painted.
The only thing I don't like about it is all the gold trim.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of gold trim in general.
That's why I'd never do Chaos. I like Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah,
but they're just like all gold trim. It's like, oh, can't be bothered.
No.
So
no, I just don't like the. I'm not a massive fan of the look of it. The black and gold. It's a bit. Don't know.
But you could change that. It could be red and gold.
Yeah.
It could be black and white. It doesn't. It doesn't have to be the colours they've done. But
yeah, I'd paint it.
So Abraxia, Spear of the Ever Chosen.
Yeah.
So in other words, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson's getting painted.
Earbiter of the Ever Chosen.
Yeah.
So Mike Tyson's getting painted. So it's between these two subpar Underworld warbands. So there's going to be people in the comments or are going to be like, "What are you on about? That's the best warbands, best Underworld box in ages." But
yeah, eBay.
Both
of them. No, I'd leave Grey the Flesh Eater Courts, and then eBay the Brethren of the Bolt.
See, now very boring, but exactly the same. Paint Mike Tyson because it's a great model. Great model, but it's a lot to it. I wouldn't say it's like, oh my god, my favourite model I've ever seen. I like the mount, but
the mount's cool. If you did a conversion, then now we're talking.
Yeah, that's cool.
Get Mike Tyson off it.
Get Mike Tyson off it, fine. And then leave Grey the Flesh Eater Courts and eBay the Cult because they do nothing for me at all. None of those. Not even the one that you like.
They sort of remind me of like the Exiled Dead. I don't know why. But
yes, and they even have the same mechanic with lightning.
Yeah, there's a lot of like chains and
when struck by lightning, scorched by energy of a departing stormcast. Electricity. Galvanising his followers with crackling arcs of electricity. So it's almost the same mechanics as the other warband that we never got.
Exiled Dead,
which I actually prefer the look of.
And there's more of them.
Yeah, they're like zombies. You can pick them up really cheap. We should probably grab them. Just because I quite like the idea of they make everything move with electricity.
Yeah.
So he kind of essentially gives them life with electric and they move around the
world. A
bit like that really by the sounds of it.
But eBay.
eBay, because the models are dire, in my opinion. Don't care what anyone else says. Oh yeah, they're really good. It's the best Warhammer Underworld box in ages. Well, you're wrong. Hang on, change my mind. You get pink dice.
Here we go.
Oh, I want it. You're getting that one now.
Oh.
So same as you really.
Yeah.
Paint Mike Tyson, leave Grey the Flesh Eater Courts, and eBay the Cult.
Yeah.
There we go.
Fine. That is it. Paint Grey eBay this week. So on to listeners' questions.
Have we got a graphic for that?
No.
Oh.
You're gonna have to start dancing.
Oh god, you don't want to see that. My god. Why dance?
I don't know.
This is questions. Dance. Okay.
Dance for listeners, for our listeners.
All 14 of them.
Yeah. If you're listening on Spotify, I think he's dancing.
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see that he's declined that.
Yeah. So I'm definitely dancing. I'm dancing under the table.
Dancing inside.
Hang on, what? Right. So our first. What's going on? Our first one. This is questions. I'm gonna murder this. Is it by MJ or by J?
Yeah.
By MJ?
By MJ. I'm assuming that doesn't mean by
By
Michael
MJ.
Jackson.
I'm Joe. By MJ Arnold. Nice and easy. No mucking around.
Yep.
Favourite faction? Go.
Probably Seraphim.
Favourite faction in Legion?
Rebels.
Favourite faction in Arcworld? You don't really know them all.
Probably the humans.
Yeah.
Even though we haven't got them.
They are great. That's one I want to get. I love the humans.
Because they look like...
They've got little monkeys with them. But hang on.
Yeah, you know the... I know we've said before is the comparison to like Aardman. But the... what's that, like an adventure with pirates and pirates on an adventure with scientists? That's what I think of.
Yeah, they do look like that.
Yeah.
So for me, what about your 40k? Did you say Tyranids?
Guard,
not Tyranids. Why did you not do Guard? Is it just because of the sheer amount of models? Or is it a case you got the Tyranids?
Just hang on. Yeah, just liked painting Tyranids, and I think it's a slightly less mentally taxing combat patrol, and it's something different. But I would like to do Guard.
Go back to them. Get them next.
I would like to do them at some point. I think that's
next combat patrol.
Yeah, that's a sort of.
But you have to get a Catachan.
Will happen
somehow. There's a guy. I think it's called War Games. There's a company that I think I showed you them. They make Catachan looking models, but they look good. They look really good. They look like
updated.
Yeah. So you could use the heroes from GW and the vehicles, and you could use those as your infantry.
Hang on.
They'll look, but I know you're a bit like, oh, it's not official, but the Catachan GWs they're a bit dire now, so it might be worth.
Yeah, well, I've got them. That's
I'll find it. I'll show you that later. I'll find you the models because they look great. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, favorite factions for me is Dark Elf.
Yeah.
For fantasy, Warhammer. Loved Dark. Like I said, grew up playing them. In terms of AOS, what's your old world?
Tomb Kings.
Tomb Kings.
Not High Elf. Or Bretonia. No.
I don't know, I always have High Elf in my head for you. Is it because you painted a few?
Yeah, I love High Elf.
And Lumineth.
Yeah. So, yeah, favourite faction is loaded, but yeah, Age of Sigmar is between Seraphim and Lumineth, and probably cities. Yeah, if I think, what would you want a fully painted army of?
Yeah, but it's not just that, it's lore and like the background. So you don't know all of them for AOS. I know most of them, but
the thing is, I think about it and I think, well, okay, so my two favourite armies are Imperial Guard and Cities of Sigmar. God, I'm boring.
Yeah. Humans, and my favourite in Arcworld is humans, and my favourite in Star Wars is Rebels, which is mainly just humans.
Fine. At least I've got a theme going on.
Yeah, fine. Mine's probably Dark Elf for fantasy. 40k, I love Dark Eldar for the same reasons as Dark Elf, but I do have a few in 40k that I like. Sisters.
I think if you could have a 2,000 point army, what is it?
What, for 40k?
And it's painted.
Dark Eldar.
Not Sisters.
No.
Oh, that's your favourite army.
Yeah, after painting some, listening to some of their lore, Dark Eldar, Drukhari. So Drukhari for 40k, Dark Elf for fantasy, Empire, or I do like droids. Really like droids.
You could say Empire for fantasy. Then.
No, for Legion, sorry. Yeah. Empire, but I do really like droids. That's a close second, like almost
neck and neck.
Dooku, Ventress. I like the battle droids, not the super heavy droid. Yeah, Grievous, mainly the heroes. But then it's the same for Empire. I love Vader, the Emperor, but probably Empire for Legion. Arcworld is halflings. I love the halflings.
They're brilliant. Yeah.
Although I do like a few of the factions. I like the wizards. I like the humans as well. Actually, I like the fact that in Arcworld you can do monster factions. So I like the idea of doing a troll army, like 3 trolls.
Fine.
Absolutely brilliant. What other game did we go for? I can't remember.
Sigmar.
See, I do like Nighthaunt, but that's more an aesthetic thing. That's not really the background lore. I just like the look of them.
So the same question: if you could have a 2,000 point Sigma army, what would you have?
See, now I've just taken the piss out of you for it, but probably cities. I
Kind of,
think
yeah.
I love the lore of them, like the normal human against these
Yeah.
monsters. That's what I like. I know that's the reason you like Guard.
That's why I
40K.
like Gar. Yeah, they're just
normal
it's these
blokes.
people that essentially don't stand a chance.
No.
They're just pissing in the wind, and
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, same as I like that with Cities of Sigmar. Yeah, okay, they can, but they're just normal men and women that are fighting against, dragons, monsters, giants. I do like giants actually. Mega what are they called? Oh my god, Sons of Behemoth's weird. Behemoth, whatever you say, Behemoth. I don't know. But yeah, I like them as well. But probably cities, because the same reason you like them, just the normal man against. And I like the model. The new range is absolutely stunning, coupled with the background of them. And they're quite grimy and dirty. I'd like to do like a really grim dark Cities of Sigmar army. If I do them, I'm going to do them. I'm going to buy some like oil, the one that everyone uses. And
like the pin.
What's it called? They use it. They cover it. Then they,
like streaking grime.
Streaking grime. That's the word. Couldn't think of it. Bloody hell, words.
Okay, mine.
Have you got some?
Yeah.
Oh,
bought some at one of the shows.
Hang on.
I haven't used it, but
yeah, streaking grime. The Cities of Sigmar. I'm making it really.
I think that would be cool. Like blood on all their weapons. Like they're literally like they've just come out of battle.
They're entrenched in a village somewhere.
Would be.
Yeah, they're in a village and they've been holding it down for months. And they're grimy and they've got blood splatters on their shields. And then you could get some like Stormcasters allies and do them really bright, like bit of a Space Marine Guard.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm talking myself into an army here. Cities of Sigmar, but I did say that would probably be my spearhead.
Yeah.
If we do when we do, let's be honest, when we do spearhead. So yeah, thank you, by MJ Arnold. I'm sure I butchered that, but thanks for this question. Do you want to do the next one?
Yeah. So yeah, one of my good friends, Lauren's commented. So it's follow what feels good. Have you ever been into any other hobbies as much as this? You can go first in this one.
I used to game quite a lot. I remember years of playing like Tomb Raiders, Final Fantasy 7 on the PS4, but this is years ago. Still do gaming now, like Elden Ring. Spent hours painting, got put away for like 2 months while I played Elden Ring and Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Lies of P, Sekiro. I didn't finish Sekiro though. I got right to the end and then I can't remember why I didn't, but yeah, so I do gaming occasionally, but probably not as much as this, no. Bearing in mind, this week alone, I've put in, trying to think, my wife's gone away for a work training thing, so I've been on my own with the boy, been on my own with my son for this week, and obviously he's at school, so every day I've been putting about 5-6 hours of painting in to get these Dark Elder done. So you think, what's that? 6, 12, 18?
Yeah, what, 30 hours?
30 hours this week alone. I've never gamed that much.
No.
So probably not. No, I don't think I've ever been to in a hobby as much as this.
Well, and the length of time that you've done it for. It's
since I was 14.
–
Well, there was a little gap where obviously women arrive and things, but in general, it's never really...
Yeah, subsided.
You hear a lot of people say, I came out of the hobby for like 10 years.
Yeah.
But I never did.
No.
It was always there. Even though, I might not paint every day. It might be like, I do, an hour a week. But it's always there. I'm always on the website or reading about it or buying or back
watching
then.
YouTube videos.
Yeah, or back then buying a White Dwarf, that kind of. So it's always been part of my life since I was 14. Shit, 14. So yeah. No, for me, no. is the short answer. What about you, Darren?
I'd say probably not as much as I'd say. I've been into other hobbies definitely, but as much as this right now, no. But I think that's partly because of Sprue Goons. That's not just a hobby. That's content creation. It's kind of like immerses you in the hobby because you're doing something else. Whereas, in that respect, I've never gone to that level in anything else.
No.
But yeah, I've got like really into illustration at one point. Played golf. I was into golf, playing like 2-3 times a week at one point. But yeah, I don't know. Not to this level. And I suppose it's partly due to like the community and the amount of people kind of in it, and it's sort of like
the fact that like Sprue Goons on Instagram took off, and that's kind of propelled
Yeah,
you more to get
exactly. I feel like it's sort of like a self-propelling hobby. Games Workshop are constantly coming out with, it's not something you need to just, we're churning away at it. There's always something going on.
Yeah.
There's always some like a system to start, or a game to do, or an army that you want to do. That's the good thing about the hobby. It's kind of, with golf, it's like, you can get a new set of golf clubs and you can practice a bit more, but you can't. The game's golf. There's no kind of like extra things that you can do. Whereas this hobby is
limitless.
It's too big.
It is too big. So
like an ocean that's trying to just like tread water in the ocean.
But yeah, thank you. Follow What Feels Good, or Lauren. Thank you for that. So next one, I've good friend of mine, my wife.
Don't lie.
Yes, no, she's not a friend. just an acquaintance. This one's it's a bit more PG than the
yeah.
A bit less PG, whatever it is. But it's a bit nicer than the last questions you sent, the bitch.
Yeah.
But I'll hand it over to you, Darren. So, can we have more contrast corner?
Yeah.
Question mark.
Yes, you can.
Come on, stop slacking.
You can.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I've been painting too many nids. Yes, there are more contrast corners planned in, along with some other kind of bits and bobs. But yeah,
I still like the idea.
Short answer, really.
Like you doing the, like, I don't know, you call it contrast corner face off.
Yeah.
So you get like
the battles, contrast corner battles,
like a GW contrast and a Vallejo express color. Here's an express color red, and here's a contrast red. Same model.
Yeah.
Put a red on each, see how it dries, that would be great, because people would be like, oh, the red one actually for Vallejo is better, or dries better. It'd be quite a good thing to do.
I think that would be.
So
good.
if you could just get on that, buy some more express colour. We're going to Salute
buy
next
some
month.
more models. They're all the same.
Yeah, we're going to Salute next month, so no excuses not to buy all the express colour range.
That's fair.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for that, Bob. So next one, Beltian. Oh, is that a Eldar reference? 54522.
Is that an Eldar reference?
No, I don't think that bit is, but I'm guessing Beltian.
Clan 54522.
What do you know about Void Admiral? So, the short answer would be initially nothing, but after having a little Google and having a look around online, it's basically like a Battlefleet Gothic kind of game. So it's like fleet combat ships. It looks quite cool. It's on War Games Vault. You can pick up the rule book on there, PDF. It looks quite cool. I've always liked the idea of doing like naval kind of fleet combat in space, because I looked at Star Wars Armada, but it's kind of AMG have kind of not really pushed it. I think they're not dropping it, but they're not really supporting it. If you know what I mean, they're leaving it there to kind of stagnate. So I haven't really, but it looks quite cool. I'd definitely be interested, because normally those kind of rule books on War Games Vault are quite cheap to have a look at. They're only a few dollars normally, so you can always pick it up and have a look through. But it looks quite cool. If there's a game you'd recommend, then yeah, definitely. I'm always up for finding more games, not to paint or play.
Don't tempt us.
Yeah, fine. And the last one, Dad Mech, bit of a long one, this one. Is it worth the effort, in your opinion, to make your own contrast paint, or just buy a pre-mixed one? See, now I would probably say it's probably easier just to buy one. You can get contrast medium, which is like the GW do it, Express Color do one. They all do their own. Like, it's just like and then you just add a colour to it, and that essentially kind of makes up your own contrast colour. Yeah. But I would, in general, in my opinion, I'd probably just buy a pre-mixed one. What about you?
I'd say in the early days when they had like 20, then it was definitely worth getting the contrast medium, mix up your own, do what you want kind of thing. Also, there still is in some, but not all contrasts are created equal. It's kind of the point of Contrast Corner. They're not all brilliant. So if you've got a particular colour that you want to do a contrast with, then I kind of see the point. But now I think there's like 64, something like that. Then just there probably is the colour you want.
Yeah, plus the Express Colour range, plus the the other versions
of
I know
Army
Speed Paint.
Painter have just done and they just released their new
war paints, isn't it? They're called now. It's like
Yeah.
a whole new. They do like metallic contrast.
Yeah, I'd like to try those.
Yeah, but again, that's how you pick up at Salute.
Yeah.
Like a
No, Ning John's done some stuff with those.
Yes,
recently.
yeah. So, yeah, thanks, Dad. Mick, I would probably say buy a pre-mixed one because I'm a lazy bastard. But like you said, if there's a particular colour you want in a contrast, it's not that hard to make your own. But
I'd say it's worth having a pot of it.
Well, contrast medium.
Of the contrast medium, yeah, why not? Also, I suppose, I don't know. I was going to say if you're putting it through the airbrush, is it better? Not really.
Not really.
No,
it's quite good straight through the airbrush contrast paint. Although, like you said, it drinks it. Bloody hell,
thirsty.
It does love a contrast paint. But that's all the questions this week. So thanks, guys. Thanks for those. I think that pretty much wraps it up this week, doesn't it? So a bit of a rambly one this week. Don't really know where we were going with all that, but
as per usual.
Yeah, as per usual. Go to shows basically. They're good, and you'll no doubt be hearing all about the mistakes we make in the coming months when we go. So thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening. We will have an interesting episode next time. Possibly a guest. So
things in the work. I forgot about that.
So we'll see you next time.
See you guys. Bye.